Coffee with the Editor is proudly brought to you by IRZ and the Railway Safety Regulator, RSR.
And my specific specialization is transport planning, supply chain integration. So you can imagine that developing an intermodal facility for an exciting initiative like this forms part and parcel of what I get excited about. So thank you for this opportunity. Now, what I'm specifically focusing on now is the intermodal terminal facility, the ITF. This is not the broader LEIP that Shika showed you earlier. This is the facility where Transnet and the LEIP will really come together, where they will shake hands, where they will rub shoulders, and where they will make this LEIP work. Now, the LEIP, like any other large initiative, needs a transport solution, needs something that will enable it to perform its functions optimally and then participate in not just the economy but the economic growth of South Africa. This is how do I get to the next slide of this thing?
Just the arrow to the right.
I think it might be over there.
You just control.
Just click on the next one, please. So, it looks like technology might be letting me down. Right, so Shika did a very good job at explaining to you where in the world the LEIP fits in. I think it's important to note that the intermodal facility, the ITF, is really a business. I'll get to all the other benefits of it just now, but it is a business, and like any other business, it has to attract revenue, it has to have some form of cash flow into the business, but it also incurs that, or gets that revenue by incurring some cost. And the trick with any business, obviously, is to have a positive rate of return. So in other words, the revenue must be more than the cost. Now, the cost of any terminal is really, it's very much a variable. There are very few fixed costs involved in such a business. But what is always a challenge with an intermodal facility is where do we get our revenue? Now, the LEIP, or at least the ITF of the LEIP, is very lucky in the sense that we have three very distinct markets that we are targeting. Lloyd mentioned that there's this north-south corridor that this LEIP fits into, and it's actually quite an important one. I was privileged to be involved in a study that was done by NEPAD a few years ago on this north-south corridor. And I can tell you that north and south of the Beitbridge border, there are quite a few challenges in the supply chain to link all those other countries to the South African deep-water ports. And this location of the LEIP and its ITF is ideally suited to capture the north-south corridor market and improve the supply chain across the whole corridor. Then obviously the LEIP itself will generate product to be transported out of as well as into the whole economic region. So there already we have a captured market. And then obviously if the LEIP grows, it's going to stimulate economic growth in the broader Limpopo region, just south of the border, and I suppose just north of the border as well, which is also then ideally suited to flow through this terminal. So this ITF is ideally suited to be a sustainable and an economic enabling business for the region. It seems to work now. So what is an ITF? It is, in very broad terms, a place where two transport modes meet. In this case, rail and road. And in most cases, as you might know all over the country, we have places like City Deep, we have other container terminals all over the country. These container facilities need to be able to transfer boxes from one mode to the other. But it's far more than just that. I'm going to flip through a couple of these very quickly because I want to get to the point, and that is that we do far more than just transfer containers from one mode to the other. In fact, this LEIP, because of the vast sectors of industry that it will be targeting, needs far more. For instance, we need a liquid terminal. We must be able to get fuel in and out, and some of these syngas chemicals might be transported out of the ITF. We need access requirements from both road and rail, very good access requirements. We need storage, we need administrative offices, but then something that is very key to all of these so-called freight villages, dry ports, intermodal facilities, call them what you will, we're not just trying to establish a terminal. We're trying to establish something that has what we call value-added services. And that's really where the crux of this business lies. It generates its own revenue, by supporting the industry around it, but also having business generated internally. That's not what should have happened.
Is it not?
Let me jump back a couple of slides. I just want to get to the next one.
Yeah.
So, design criteria. What are we trying to achieve with this terminal? Number one is it needs to optimize the supply chain. As I mentioned previously, the supply chain, whether it's a north-south corridor, whether it's just optimizing the rail system downstream, whether it's optimizing the road or the LEIP itself, this thing needs to be seamless. It needs to provide its service at a low cost. It needs to turn around vehicles, whether it's road or rail vehicles, very quickly. It needs to address all the capability requirements of the customers. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, it has to add the value-added services. In this case, I'll get to a couple of those details later. Now, we're in the early stages of development, so we don't really know at this stage exactly what the market's going to be. The next stage will be a feasibility study where we're going to include a very detailed market analysis. But at this stage, we were lucky in the sense that it's a greenfield development. In very few cases, we as engineers get confronted with a situation where we get told by our client, make this thing as big as you want, put it in any which way you want. Now, often we are constrained with boundaries and all sorts of challenges. In this case, we have a clean slate, so we can design the best terminal that we would like to have. And for that reason, we opted to develop 3 different scenarios for a relatively low volume terminal, one of medium volumes, and then one of very high throughput. Now let's hope it goes only one. Right. We developed a number of options. I'm not going to go through all those options, but eventually we picked the one that addresses most of let's call it the softer issues, environmental challenges, turnaround times, and obviously cost being one of the key challenges there. And it looks something like this, very diagrammatic. We have a main line, Transnet main line, just basically in the middle of this LIP, just north of Messina. Next to it, we will have a run-off line to get the trains off the main line quickly and very efficiently. Then we have an exchange yard or an arrivals departure yard next to the container facility, which then gets developed adjacent to the rail line. Now this forms the core of what an intermodal facility typically is, but it's only the core infrastructure. The thing that makes it work is to add more capability to it. In this case, we're adding at least 3 more potential terminals. Depending on the market study, these will grow or shrink and obviously be added or subtracted as required. So one of the ideas was to have a rail runner facility. I don't know if you're familiar with rail runners, but it's a potentially optimized way of running road vehicles on a rail line. We have a break bulk facility, typical mining goods and minerals that could be imported or exported from the facility, as well as in the liquid facility and the chemicals that can be handled, as well as a third facility. But that's just diagrammatically of how it's laid out. What we really want to achieve is to fit this into a spatial framework that makes sense. Now, there's a slightly turned sideways, that map that Deshika showed you earlier, at north straight up. This one, north is turned slightly this side. In other words, just to put you in the picture, this is the N1 highway, the one that links Beitbridge to the rest of South Africa all the way to Cape Town. This is the Transnet main line, the one that runs from Beitbridge through Messina town. And then this is where we're going to put all these facilities. Now, a couple of clicks on this thing will hopefully play along. The container facility, as I mentioned, next to the rail line, that is the primary facility that will form core infrastructure where we can change boxes from one mode to the other. Roads going into the LEIP, roads going across border, rail lines going across border, as well as going to the rest of South Africa and the ports. The next critical one was the other terminals that I showed on the previous slide, the diagrammatic ones. But then, what is very critical to any facility like this is to add value-added services. In this case, in our spatial framework, we had the opportunity to allow a lot of additional services. Those could be things like small industries, little manufacturing type industries, stuffing facilities, warehousing facilities, you name it. All sorts of facilities that will add value to this whole freight village or it's typically the name. I think every name it seems like every year it seems like this name changes a bit. Freight village seems to be the latest one. And then lastly, truck stop to be developed to make sure that the overboard traffic that comes from road at least has a decent way of transferring their volumes onto rail. So, this partnership between Transnet and the LEIP will be at this facility. Just to put it a little bit more in perspective, this is a slightly sideways image of the same layout. Again, the road, the rail line, and we have all the facilities around it. And I think this is a very exciting initiative because this is one of the few ones where Transnet is part and parcel, part of the development from day one. And it's very exciting for me that the major service providers, in this case Transnet, and then obviously the LEIP itself, are signing this MOU to enable a development that will not just be sustainable, but will actually optimize the supply chains both to and from the LEIP facility.